So, after I played Resident Evil 2, I jumped right into the Resident Evil 3 remake. And you're probably wondering why I'm wearing a Gotham City Police Department shirt. Well, it's the only PD shirt I have, and, you know, Raccoon PD, you know. I'm gonna get into it. So, Resident Evil 3 Remake. I had a lot of fun with Resident Evil 2. Immediately got Resident Evil 3. And before I start my review, I'm going to acknowledge some of the criticisms that a lot of people had. Which is that it was much shorter than the original version, and it had a lot of missing parts. Case in point, apparently there was an entire section in a clock tower. Completely missing from this game. And apparently the last game was a little bit more open than this game was. I don't know, because I never played the original game because of the controls. I couldn't stand those controls. But I understand that a lot of people had issues with this game because of that. And I'm recognizing that. That being said, I really liked this game. Yes. It could have been DLC for Resident Evil 2. It was more of a standalone expansion than anything else. It clocks in at around 4.5 to 5 hours. I think I finished this in like 4.5 hours. It could have been DLC. But, you know, I think the shorter runtime actually made me like it more, because it just made the game so incredibly well paced. I mean, just far better paced than Resident Evil 2. I mean, there was a couple of points in Resident Evil 2 I kind of felt like it dragged on a little bit. Like, okay, I get it. You're in a sewer. Can we move on? But Resident Evil 3 didn't quite do that, and I like that. Very well paced. Now, real quick, I need to talk about the multiplayer, because that is something that people have said, well, that's the replay value to this. Because Resident Evil 2 has a lot more replay value than Resident Evil 3. Resident Evil 3 is much shorter, and a lot of people have leaned on the multiplayer as a crutch for why it's worth a full price. But here's the thing. Multiplayer I didn't play because no internet, and while the multiplayer had the option to play with bots, AI controlled bots, you couldn't do it offline, which is so stupid. Why companies do that? I mean, it's bad enough that you have game companies like DICE, where they won't even bother putting in bots, but then you have game companies that will put in bots but won't make them playable offline, like Titanfall, the first Titanfall game. I mean, that game was mostly bots, alright? And yet you couldn't play it offline for some sick, depraved reason, I guess. So, yeah, I didn't bother with multiplayer. But I did bother with the campaign, and I gotta say, the graphics on the third one are amazing. Okay, just absolutely spectacular. They actually make the second game not look as good. It's the same engine. Okay, they just kind of optimize the graphics a little bit better on Resident Evil 3 Remake. Now, there was one thing I did notice. I did start Resident Evil 3 on PlayStation 4, and I did finish it on PlayStation 5. And the base PlayStation 4 version, something weird was going on with character hair. Like, just, there was like a screen door effect going on with everyone's hair. Now, it's not as bad on the PlayStation 5, and I'm assuming it's not as bad on the PlayStation 4 Pro. But it's just something I did notice. With all the amazing graphics, that one hiccup right there is kind of noticeable. And thankfully, not as bad on PS5. So, now, voice acting is still excellent from the last game. Except for Nikolai. I couldn't stand that voice actor. But apart from that, everyone does a great job. Exactly what I wanted from the previous game to come over, and it did. So, kudos on that. Unfortunately, there's still no improvement for zombie headshots. Tried playing this on normal. Had to shoot zombie in the head 10 times. Still killed me. So, went to easy. Dropped down 5 times. And I got an assault rifle. Made the game super easy. Still was hoping that we would have gotten a realistic zombie game with realistic headshot mechanics, you know. But I guess no one ever thought to do that. Anyway, moving on. I did actually enjoy the improved item management because second one, I mean, trying to manage your items, it was exhausting, and whenever I found like a hip pouch in the second game, it's like it's always a sigh of relief. 3, I didn't feel like it was that big of an issue. I felt like the item management was a perfect balance of just enough where I couldn't take everything, but just enough where I didn't feel like I wasn't finding any additional storage as well. So, I really enjoyed the weapons. The weapons were fun. Pretty cool. And it was pretty well balanced. You didn't find 27 assault rifles. You didn't find 39 pistols. No, the weapons were all balanced. I really liked that. I did get 2 pistols though, which didn't make a whole lot of sense, but I figured that. I did not have to go online to know how to get to the next point at all, which is a big plus for me. I absolutely love it when I don't have to go online because the developers didn't bother to explain something. I hate that. Now, I'll have to talk about the big guy, the Nemesis, which my only previous interaction with the Nemesis was the Resident Evil movie, the sequel, that I should eventually review, but it's the worst one in the series. Yeah, Apocalypse. And like the Nemesis in that movie, it had like a weird cute factor to it. I just could not explain. In this, the Nemesis was freaking terrifying. He's just walking through fire at you like, yeah, I'm gonna kill you now. Oh, a rocket. I'll kill you in a few minutes. I just need a heal from this. I'll be right behind you. Yeah. And you know what? Instead of using the door you just went through, I'm gonna come through the wall. You know, spice things up, mix it up, you know. Just keep you on your toes. Yeah. No, I had a much more enjoyable time with the Nemesis than I did with Mr. X. Now, understanding that everything with the Nemesis was scripted. Okay? There was no randomness, no AI searching method with this. I understand that that was a much harder system to produce than just scripted events. If I'm being completely honest, I had a much more enjoyable time with the Nemesis than I did with Mr. X, because Mr. X, it was the same thing over and over again. Just, okay, I'm here to mess up your shit. Yep, only shoot me in the face. Yeah. Nemesis, I felt like I had to relearn everything each time I came in contact with him. Like, first time, okay, just run. Second time, shoot him in the head. Okay, third time, gotta blow him up. Fourth time, just run. Fifth time, okay, you're gonna have to blow him up, shoot him in the head, and just unload everything you have on him. Next time, cut off his arm. Next time, it felt like everything was getting mixed up every time I came across the Nemesis. And so each time I saw him, I was just like, oh crap, okay, how Health check, gun check, grenade check. Okay, let's go. You know, Mr. X was just like, oh, leave me alone. You know, so I just had, that was my experience with it. And, you know, I actually got the DLC where you got the classic costume and the classic hair for Carlos, and, I had to laugh when apparently more than one person got so upset that the original Jill Valentine costume didn't come with the undies, but she was wearing shorts. They were upset so much so that they filed a lawsuit. I would have loved to have seen that judge's face. Yeah, hearing Seymour Butts versus Capcom on the... Could Seymour Butts' attorney please step up? Yeah, he does realize this is a video game, right? He does. And how much is he asking for damages? Bailiff, can I just throw this out? I can't? Okay. Oh, how I've fallen. Who sues over that? Seriously! I played part of the game with the DLC costume. I thought, oh, yeah, looks like the original costume. I was not upset that she was wearing shorts. Kind of practical when you think about it. I mean, you know. So, but no. I had a fun time with this game. I actually had more enjoyable experience with this game than I did with Resident Evil 2. Now, granted, I'm sorry, I'm a sucker for chicks with guns. I am. I'm sorry. Okay? I mean, I probably why I enjoyed this a little bit more. Plus the better graphics. Plus the more enjoyable main villain. Plus the better item management. Yes, it's shorter. Yes, those parts missing out of the original. But yes, it has decent controls. Decent graphics. Decent's an understatement. So, yes, I understand that people hated this game because of the missing elements, but you know what? This is an amazing game. It's well worth it. I had a fun time. I had no criticisms apart from Nikolai was over the top. So you know what? I'm giving you this score right here. Yeah. I just had too much of a fun time with this. So, anyway, I'm Chris with 11th Hour Reviews, and you know what? That's all.